Welcome to Small Arm Solutions. Today we're looking at bolt carrier groups. We're looking at ones made by KAK, K-A-K Enterprises. And there's two different carriers that we're going to be looking at. First off, we're going to be looking at their internal piston carrier, as we see right in here. Now, the beauty of their internal piston carrier is it's chrome. And I'm quite fond of chrome, as you guys well know. We have also some other modifications that have been made to this carrier that are very, very good. So we're going to jump right into it. Now, looking at it, we're going to have it's all chrome carrier key, chrome bolt carrier. We also have sand cuts on here as well. These sand cuts were designed basically for the Israelis for use in the desert. They've been carried over to be used on the bolt carriers. You'll see these on the Knights as well as the Centurion carriers as well. So basically, we have a standard internal piston. Now, the bolt is what we're going to take a look at on this one because we have some modifications to this bolt that are quite well done. Now, the first thing we're going to notice about this really quickly is it's chrome. Second of all, we have dual ejectors. Dual ejectors is something that we're starting to see more often on bolt carriers that are coming out, new enhanced bolts, because they do a couple really important things. First off is when you have a gun that's overgassed. Basically, when it's overgassed, you're still having residual pressure in that chamber, which is making that cartridge case stick a little bit longer, so it's making your extractor work that much harder. One of the main benefits you have to dual ejectors is rifles that have higher cyclic rates. Higher cyclic rates are caused by a couple things. One, the gun's plainly overgassed. Many of the manufacturers in this industry right now, due to the fact that customers want these guns to work with Wolf ammunition, which is very under pressure. In fact, it's below SAMI. It has a very low port pressure. They want it to cycle properly with that. They have to open up that gas port. Now, there's a consequence to that. When you open up that gas port to work with that lower pressure ammunition, when you're using proper 5.56 NATO, it's going to be causing you to have issues with overgassing. And with overgassing, your axis was working that much faster, so you're having less time for that cartridge case to be pushed out of that ejection port. When you get into more excessive cyclic rates, which are, again, either caused by overgas by that means, by use by a suppressor, using a baffle suppressor could increase your cyclic rate by up to 200 rounds a minute. And then you could also look at having an increase in cyclic rate due to gas port erosion. Once you get into those particular areas where you're getting that high of a rate of fire, often you'll have issues with ejection. You're not going to have enough time to get that cartridge case thrown out of the ejection port. By having the two ejectors on there, you are doubling your force, and that is getting it out of there pronto. It's ejecting it out hard and fast, so you're going to be eliminating that problem. So this is a reliability enhancement for any rifle to have. Absolutely anything, regardless of the barrel length. But again, you start using the shorter barrels, you start using suppressors. This is a really big major enhancement. So we have chrome. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to take us to the range and we're going to fire a few rounds out of that one. We're taking a look at a couple of KAK bolt carrier groups. The first, again, I'm a big fan of chrome plating. So you have a chrome plated, this is a standard internal piston. Everything is chrome plated. You get really good fasteners on there, and you also have your sand cuts. So we're going to fire a few rounds out of this, but we're also going to take a look at is how much gas comes back in your face with a sound suppressor. Traditionally, with external piston, you get less. With internal piston, you get more gas in your face. So what we're going to be trying is a standard suppressed internal piston. And then we're going to take a look at their brand new, which is they refer to as downward vent. What it's doing is instead of having the gas vents on the side, they have them on the bottom. The claim is that blows that gas down into the receiver rather than out in the shooter's face, producing the gas they're taking into their face. Now, we're going to go over this at the tabletop, and I'm going to say it here again. The first time I saw this, I thought, why would you want to introduce gas into your receiver? And I started actually thinking about it. Whatever gas that's putting down into those cartridges on the top of that magazine stack, there's no time for any fouling to accumulate. As you're firing those rounds that are being expended. So you're not actually introducing any additional fouling into the receiver. So when you actually look at the way that it works, it's not actually introducing anything because those cartridges are not sitting in place where you can accumulate anything. So again, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try suppressed with the standard internal piston carrier. To get this figured out is to fire in fully automatic, because in fully automatic you're going to get the maximum amount of gas in your face. So what we're going to be doing is firing full auto, and we're going to see what kind of gas we get. You're getting a lot of gas back into your face, and it's also making your eyes a little bit watery as well. So we're going to try the other one. So now we're going to try with the downward vent. downward vent by a KAK bolt carrier. Yeah, like you say, it does make a difference. You're still getting some back because no matter what you do, you're getting back pressure from the barrel. But without that coming out as much to the side, that does make a difference for as far as you're being able to breathe and being able to see. Now, looking at the magazine, I don't see any more filth in here than I would in the other magazine. As you saw, no issues whatsoever. This is a very conventional bolt carrier. Now, you did notice when we fired it, we shot with a suppressor on there, and there was an excessive amount of gas. Well, this is one of the things that happens when you fire internal pistons with standard baffle type cans. What you're getting is a lot of gas coming out of the ejection port. It's being ejected out of the ejection port, and it comes back at you through where the charging handle is as well. So you get quite a bit of that. Now, as you saw, we were firing in fully automatic as well. Now, firing in fully automatic, it exaggerates the amount of gas that you're going to be getting in your face to the point where you can get to the point where your eyes are watering and you're having a hard time breathing because you're getting so much gas in your face. Well, KAK thought about that, and they came up with a different idea. And that is referred to as the downward vent carrier. If you notice, there's no gas vent holes on the side. Where did they go? They went to the bottom. You have 4 gas vent holes on the bottom. So what that does is it blows that gas down into your magazine well instead of out into the ejection port, which means you're not getting as much gas coming back hitting you in the face without a suppressor. And when you're having a suppressor with excessive gas, it makes a major, major difference. Now, I know most of you are thinking, and I thought the same thing at first, why would you want to introduce fouling into your magazine well? Well, that would make sense, but we have to think about this. When it's loading, when it's extracting and ejecting, and it's blowing anything down into the magazine, each one of those rounds is being fired. You have no time for any accumulation of any kind of a fouling whatsoever. So by the time you fire your 30-round magazine, all that dirt's gone. It does not affect your reliability, at least it did not in the 300-400 rounds that we had fired. Most of it was on fully automatic. We pulled the magazine out, we didn't see much of a difference. So the reality is, it going down into the magazine well didn't put any fouling in there whatsoever. Those rounds were gone. There was no time for any kind of fouling to accumulate. As you saw, most of that was fully automatic fire, and there was a major, major difference. You're never going to eliminate all of that gas because you're still going to get a lot of that pressure that's coming back from the barrel out the ejection port, but you're eliminating all that gas that comes out to the side, and a lot of it comes to the rear. So this did make a major, major difference. Getting around the thought of introducing gas into the magazine well, that's a hard one to wrap your head around until you really, really think about it. There's no time for any fouling to accumulate. And I have to say, this is a very unique way of attacking the problem with gas, especially for those of you who are using suppressors. When I fired this thing in the downward vent, I was not getting anywhere near the gas in my face or causing any kind of breathing or eyes watering. I didn't really get any of that whatsoever. I imagine if I was to put a reverse flow can on there, it probably would have been even better. But overall, this has been a very, very well thought out system. Now, we found out there's some more benefits too. Griffin Armament, which is a suppressor company, did some independent testing on this carrier as well to see if this made any difference on the sound. And what they found was actually it did. They took decibel readings both at the right and the left ear. When they compared the standard carrier to the downward vent carrier, we saw some differences. Now, for your right ear with a mil spec, you're going to get 14.8 decibels. When you shoot the downward vent, you're getting 139.2 decibels. So you're getting a savings of 2.6 decibels. Left ear, standard internal piston carrier with normal vent, you're looking at 136.3 decibels. Downward vent, you're looking at 132.8, a savings of 3.5 decibels. So you're looking at a savings of 2.6 decibels on your right ear and 3.5 decibels on your left ear. And it did something else. It also got rid of your normal port pop that you get as well with the standard type of bolt carrier as well, which makes a difference as well. So overall, The downward vent actually does quite a bit to it, not only in sound, but also in gas reduction. These are not made cheaply. These are expensive bolt carriers, and you're looking at the reasons why. So if you look at some of the specifications that we have on these, we're looking at, again, functions, reliability in all types of conditions, optimized for both suppressed and unsuppressed use, dual ejectors for enhanced reliability with short barrels, angled carrier rail cuts to improve functioning in adverse conditions, and prolonged suppressive fire. Again, these are all full auto profile. The gas key is 4130 steel, heat-treated, chrome-plated inside and outside, and secured by T25 Torx set screws. And torque to mil spec, which is the 52 to 58 inch-pounds. Now, sort of, I'm going to give you a summary here of what we did for as far as our testing is concerned. First test that we shot with a standard, normal mil spec type external piston carrier on fully automatic. We definitely got some gas in the face, got some tearing up in the eyes, which is expected. That's pretty much normal when you're firing internal piston with a baffled suppressor. Then the second time we shot was the same carrier with a suppressor, a baffled suppressor. And we got quite a bit of gas. I got quite a bit of gas in my face. It affected my eyes starting to water, a little bit of my breathing. And then we switched over to the downward vent. Downward vent noticed a significant reduction in gas to my face and definitely had no problem seeing. And then we switched it over to the same suppressor. And again, no problem seeing. Definitely got a little bit more back in the face because, again, you're overpressuring the system. It's coming through from the barrel, not necessarily from the ports on the carrier. But it was nowhere near that of the standard carrier. So would I put this in every one of my guns? No, not yet. I think I would probably do a little bit more testing. We did probably 200-300 rounds testing it out. But they're definitely onto something here. There definitely is something that is a difference. But a lot of people are going to have to get around the thought that you're introducing garbage into your receiver. And again, you have to really think about that, the fact that you're getting some fouling going on those cartridges, but they're being expended. There's no accumulation of dirt whatsoever. So this is, again, very interesting solution to a ongoing problem, which I think I'm going to play with a little bit more in the future, and we'll probably do another follow-up video at some point on it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share.